Okay, so Nomsa, I know you. I've known you for a couple of years. I've known you as a publicist and a very corporate, lion or lioness. You know what I mean? So I was pleasantly surprised to see you, being a traditional healer. I don't know if you're a traditional healer or slash Sangoma, and I just thought I should have a conversation with you regarding your journey. But before we get there, can you just, introduce yourself?
I think you've already introduced me. I'm Nomsa Zwane. I'm a professional, and I'm also a traditional healer. I just recently went through initiation, which was, which was something else, overwhelming, very tiring, spiritually, mentally, and physically. But got through it. Yeah. And many of the things, but we've recently got retrenched. So I've actually had a break from work and then had more time to focus on the healing aspect of my life, which has actually been great. I feel like I'm growing every day, I'm understanding myself every day a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Wow, man. For people like me that know you as, someone that's like in the office and all that, we're trying to understand, like, have you always had the gift, or, when did your gift start?
I would say I've always had it, because as a child, I would have episodes of abnormality. And even when there was a time when my teachers, I think I was in primary school, they suggested that I go through therapy because they felt like I was a different child. And I didn't understand that. And then I only started understanding when my started coming through, and like my life a bit, like it just came up in an earthquake. And it was a bit of a surprise for me, because I was not even a church person. Let me tell you, like, I went to church as a child because I was a child, and like my mom said we have to go to church, and then we'd pray every day, every afternoon with my mom before sleeping. And then there was a time in my life, especially when I started varsity, I was like, I'm not into this church thing. I was a going out girl. I was out every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, eyelash girl, makeup girl. Like, I'm sure it actually took me by surprise, and because it happens when you have the calling, like simple things like partying. People like just walk out the door and leave. Mina, I'd plan, I'd be like, okay, hamba, we're leaving, we're going. And then all of a sudden, mood just shuts down. Like, you can't go there. Or you start hearing voices in your head that you can't go there. And then sometimes it's for your own good, it's for your own protection, because
Nomsa, I think we have a bit of a network issue now. So
people go there and involved, and people got hurt, and then that's when some other people. The last part you didn't get.
Yeah, sorry to cut you. The network is just a bit bad. You said the last part I got, and then you were saying that you would want to go out, and sometimes you hear voices telling you not to go out, right? And then you said it's you understood it was for your own protection. And then the last part that I got is that you would hear that people got hurt and all that, right? So I've got two-part question just to follow up on that. So when you have the gift, are you not allowed to be like, to still have like a lifestyle type of thing where you can party and
you have to balance it. First of all, you have to balance it, and second of all, you have to ask. It's not a matter of like you must stop everything, because at the end of the day, you did not go out seeking them. So with everything that you do, can I go out? I'm going out. Even when you go to work, even when you wake up, even when you go to the mall, you need to light a candle and report that Puma manje, be with me, keep me safe, make me alert of hell, even when you want to be in a relationship, you have to go and ask. and you need to ask for your partner, okay, is this the right person? And then maybe they'll come and show you through dreams or visions, nah, we don't want this person. And if this is the right person, they'll tell you, okay, yeah, we're cool with this person. Tell the person to do 1, 2, 3, 4, so that he or she can prove himself, because they don't want someone also by Ivara, because there's a lot of things that come with the calling. So Mauzo then they'll be like, we don't want this person in your life. They want someone, firstly, on a relationship, secondly, on a relationship, spirituality, and a person who's not weak, a person who's strong, and a person who's faithful, because there's nothing as worse as uyasebenza wena endumbeni yakho uyisangoma, and then ujola nomuntu, or let me say a free spirit, for lack of a better word, uyahamba nje uyalala, because yonke lento le makayithatha ngaphandle mayibuya kuwe, it affects you, it affects how you heal people. Then you'll find that awusakhona ukwenza ezinye izinto mawungena endumbeni, awusakhona ukuhlola, because your partner is going around sleeping around, and when that happens, it affects them, because umsebenzi wabo usayala ngasemuva. So they'll basically, if your partner is not faithful, this one is too provocative, right? Maybe try another person, you know what I mean? So basically your life revolves around them, because like I like to say this to people, I am a spirit within a body, and then there are other spirits that chose that they want to share my body with me. So I'm not only one, there's other people, and whatever I do, I need to consult them. Even if even my dress sense, sometimes the way you dress, also you know. So you need to always speak to them, always let them know what's happening in your life, always, all the time.
Wow, I learn every day. So, my closely, they have to approve your man to say, okay, cool, you must take this, I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. So, like, now, does the person that you date also has to be like, do they also have to have the gift, or can it be just like a normal person?
No. I know quite a few healers who are dating people who don't even go to church, but it's that person's spirit. You don't even need to be every day. You know what I mean? As long as they're pure and they have good intentions now, and they're willing to show, even because like they're gonna be like, okay, it's like really, 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 he wants to be in this relationship. A lot of people, when you tell them to do that ritual, they feel like, man, and then they pull back. That's when it was like, does not have pure intentions. This person is not here to stay. Because if a person is here with pure intentions, they wouldn't even flinch at doing that. So it's those simple things. It doesn't have to be a person who has the calling. Yes, it makes it quite easy when you date a person who has the calling to a person who's a traditional healer too, because you guys are on the same path, you guys help each other grow, you know what I mean? This person can dream for you, you can dream for the person, but it is not a must. It's not a must. I personally, I'm not dating anybody now, but I personally, I don't want a traditional healer. I want someone who's going to remind me what it is like to be human. Someone knows what, hey, sometimes we're going to party, because when you date a healer, most of the times, all the time, there's not going to be that aspect of you still need to go and enjoy your life. You still need to go wear bikinis, go to the beach, go to the bar, shoot some tequilas. So that's why I would personally want a person who's not a healer, so that I can be reminded before there was Nkanyamba is one of the person that I'm sharing my body with. Before they were that person, so when you date someone who's not a healer, you still get a chance to be reminded of what it is to be human.
And you speak a lot about church. So like being a traditional healer and church, and more specifically Christianity, I don't know if you can talk about that. Is there, because I always feel like the two kind of like they contradict each other, because Christianity says one thing and then, tradition says another. Can you be both? Or, how does that, work?
I wouldn't say church is about Christianity, because Christianity is about Christ, and Christ is Jesus. And Jesus was a prophet just like us. Jesus who went around and healed people just like us. So Jesus was more of a traditional healer of that time. uNkulunkulu bekakhona from way before Jesus days. Healers, yabona ukuthandaza, that's our main thing. Before ngizoyenzela umuntu anything, kumele ngithandaze, so ngizokhona ukuconnecta nesithunywa sami. Isithunywa sami isithunyelwa uNkulunkulu. It's my angel from God to tell me, this is what God wants you to do. This is what God wants you to do. Before you actually, your first couple of weeks, the first thing they focus on is thunywa sakho. Bazokuthandazela, funda iBhayibheli, every day I make sure I read the Bible. It's just that I feel like Christianity wants you to divert away from your culture, because this is what it is. It's culture. It's nothing like it's demonic. It's not like we're praising dead people. And that's the thing. Basically, the Bible says we shouldn't praise dead people. Who said we were praising dead people? We are using abantu kade baphila, the people that knew us before, to connect to God himself. So God can bring the messages to us. God can tell us, in order to fix this, you need to do 1, 2, 3. I mean, and who created water? It was God. Who created heaven and earth? Who created basically everything? The herbs that we use. Who created those herbs? It was God. And through Amadlos, we are able to get the message of okay, ithatha lesihlahla so hlanganise nalesi so hlanganise namanzi wasemfuleni unika umuntu aphuze ahamba yophola. I do not think that could come from any demonic type of situation unless it literally comes from God himself. Most people futhi mangaya bona emasontweni aseZion, emasontweni asePostoli, you'll find a gang of traditional healers there, like a gang of traditional healers, because that's what we were sent to do. We were sent to connect with Amadlozi in order to get messages from God, in order to help them, to heal people, in order to help them. No, live this way. Don't do this, because if you do this, this is what's going to do. If you do this, it's going to affect your spirit. And if it affects your spirit, it affects your career, it affects your relationship, it affects all those type of things. So I don't think you can separate the two unless ufuna uba umzalwane. Abazalwane, I really don't want to speak about them much because of or anything, but you cannot separate isangoma nomthandazo, because isangoma sinesithunywa. Isithunywa yiso esikutshelayo ukuthi kumele uthatheni uhlanganiseni wenzeni ukuze umuntu azophola. Even noma ngizokuhlola, sometimes ngisebenzisa isithunywa. I don't use amathambo. I just pray, like ikhandlela, abantu like ikhandlela, ngibeka amanzi la, and then isithunywa sami singitshela ukuthi no, lo muntu lo phethwe into so ngihlanganise. Sometimes you don't even need to heal with herbs. Ngikunikeza amanzi ngiwathandazele, ngikunikeza uhambe uphole, yonke into yakhe ibe right.
So is it possible for a person to live a life from birth till old age without having to consult a sangoma, especially as a Black person? Or does every Black person need to have that divine intervention at some point?
I feel like because especially Tina, it's bancane. Back in the days, people had culture by the book. Like umntana makashonile bayazi ukuthi kumele kenziweni, umuntu makashonile bayazi ukuthi kumele kenziweni, yabo, makushada bayazi ukuthi kumele kenziweni, masenihlukana bayazi ukuthi kumele kenziweni. So there was basically no need for them to go. But for Tina manje, because for instance you have an abortion, you have a miscarriage, those things could come back and not only haunt you but haunt your children's children. So for that not to happen, there's a certain thing that you need to do. And I know I didn't even know that until and I know a lot of us don't know that. So in order for you, we cleanse, we call it a cleansing. For you to be rightfully cleansed, no, into so how do I go about this? Because if you don't do it right, I have that problem right now. My mom, back in the day when she was young, had a miscarriage and didn't do the right thing. Yeah, 30 years later, do you understand what I mean? And it's not because she chose to neglect the thing. It's because she didn't know how to do it right. So to answer your question, it's advisable once in a while. Uhambe, uyohlola, ubone ukuthi isimo sakho sempilo sime kanjani, ubone ukuthi amadlozi akho ajabulile. Maybe they want to bless you with something, but before they can do that, bafuna ukuthi bahlabele. Maybe, you know, you did something you weren't aware, and then bafuna ukugeza, and it happens. Siyajola bafethu, the spiritual connections. I don't know what how your spirituality is. I don't know who you've slept with, and I don't know ukuthi bona baphethe ini, because umuntu uthola ukuthi uphethe amabhadi, uphethe inyama, yeah, their hearts, we connect at the moment we sleep together. I don't know ukuthi through that I'm taking a lot of those persons' problems. Sekuyinkinga zami, angisalali kahle, sengiphupha kabi, emsebenzini akusekho right, but you don't even know it's because you dated the wrong person, and at the time you didn't know that it was the wrong person. So you need to go through a certain cleansing to make sure which it does not affect your life, and because these things can even affect your career, can affect how money comes into your life, can affect your love life, they can affect your family, they can affect your mental health. Depression these days, it's not because depression being back in the days. Tina isn't like and this through sexual encounters. So I would say it's advisable, not no. It's advisable to find a healer that you can trust once in a while, even if it is once a year, just to go and check how your spirituality is standing. Make sure your life is the way it's supposed to go. Like you've done all the traditional things that you need to do, just to make sure there's no disruptions, because it can even disrupt things like you want to start a business. You want to start a business and you are skilled in this thing. You are very skilled in this, but because your spirituality is not aligned well, there's something that there's something that you, and you don't know it, because very obviously it's not like it's going to show you. It's going to hide itself. So it's advisable to have it once in a while, not a lot.
Wow. You know, I pick up a lot of like sexual relationships that are affecting our spirituality. And I was just like,
it does. And thing is, people are so blind. I won't say blind, but they refuse to believe it. But every time you sleep with someone, you take a piece of them with you. Every time. So be mindful of who you sleep with. Be mindful of who you date. Like that's why Kala Uglalana was something that came way after in the relationship. You would get to know the person before you guys would sleep together, you know. But man, now on the first date, and I've done this too. I'm not a saint. I've done it too. On the first date, on the deed, you know, like it's been about that so much, and that's not what a relationship is about. A relationship for a possible wedding, for a possible future together. So now that the definition or the roles, if you want to call it like that, have changed, people are now, what do they call it, free spirits. They're free with their bodies. And there's no such thing. You guys just want us to act in a certain way. And you're like, it's fine, okay, guys. And you like it's a topic that most of the times I don't want to speak about, because it's like you offend people, and then it's like you're calling people hoes. And I understand you're not a hoe. You're just trying to find the right person in your life. It just happens that you're not finding the right person. But be mindful of who you sleep with. Be very mindful.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, like, but I've also heard. No, I've also heard that, like, for example, men. No, and I'm trying to understand. Men, right, would sleep with a lot of women for power, like a lot of like presidents, kings. You know, they would sleep like with a lot of women.
Virgins, right? Virgins, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
You know. and they become
that
powerful.
Person is pure. That person is pure. That person is clean. They haven't like energy yabo isese fresh, moya wabo isese fresh, spirit wabo isese fresh. So you're taking a bit of that energy every time you sleep with them. And when you're old, this is true. When you're old, like it makes your spirit a little bit younger. That is true. It's not a myth. Spiritually, that is true. But then because people have, like I said, people have chosen not to put spirituality and sex together. And you're like, okay, as it do as you do. Tina, you'll just come to me and I'll give you a cleansing, and that's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Wow, thank you so much. I've got, I have like 100 questions, but I don't want this to be too long. I have two more questions for you, man.
Okay.
Like I always feel like politically, as Black people, we are conquered, like we are just at the bottom of the food chain, but yet we have all these gifts, and the way that I understand it, people that are at the top of the food chain, which are white people, the way that I see, maybe they hide it, I don't know, but they don't appear to be spiritual or even religious for that matter, even though they are the ones that are pushing Christianity to us, but they are the ones who are thriving in life. And I'm just like, yo, man. And for me personally, I'm always upset at my ancestors, and actually I'm mad at everybody in the spiritual realm, because I'm like, how can you guys allow white people to dominate us, and we have such poor conditions as Black people? So my question is, how then do we as Black people, is it possible, well, first of all, for us to kind of like use our spirituality to our advantage?
I want to start by asking you, why ucanguti abelungu abekho spiritual?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's why I say maybe they hide it. I don't see it. I know
They
yoga.
hide it so well. They hide it. Abelungu, believe you me, they have rituals. They have things that they do too. It's just that they want for us to neglect our culture so much. So they want to look like they don't try hard. And then Tina, we look like we try hard. Bona, no, believe you me, if you go there, who's this lady, the queen, then London, uzokutshela ukuthi no, Tina singabelungu senza so. They have rituals for days. It's not that they don't have them. It's like Tina, we have to push ours because our traditions have been neglected for so long while we were doing izinto zabantu. I'm sure you can attest to the fact that now there's a lot of people coming out that they have the calling more than the previous generation. And it's not that people didn't have the calling. They hid it. They hid it through church. Mina, my calling comes from my mom. It comes from her mom. It comes from her mom's mom. So they hid it very well because it was seen as demonic. Who told us that while Bona, they continue to do their things. That's why Babona strive so much, because and they focus on them. Tina, mamele senza into zethu ufuna ukwenza half, or you don't want to do other things, or no, I'm not going to do that. Like, that does not fit into who I am right now. Like, I'm literally not going to. I will believe you me, they do. And I do feel like we can use our spirituality to get ahead. It's just that Tina, we neglected. I feel like even people in parliament, I can tell you now, even Jacob Zuma, unayo inyanga yakhe ayakuyo before azongena kulawa ama-court case. I will tell you this now. I don't think khona umuntu ohleli lapha esitulweni saseParliament oyokutshela ukuthi mina anginamuntu engiyakuyo ongifuthisayo ongenzisani ongigcinisayo. We can use those things to our advantage. Uma ufuna umsebenzi, you can use that to your advantage, because there's things that you can do more than just handing over your CV. Cela abantu abadala ukuthi mangiphuma ngihamba ngicela nihambeni nami. Njoba ngi-apply ngenza so ngicela ningenziseni. Uthola umuntu futhi okwazi ukuzenza kahle. There's people who are grown, who've been in the industry for like 40 years, who've been traditional healers for a long time, who know how to do this thing, who know, okay, mawufuna business lakho ukuthi listrive, this is what you do. If you want to bring in more customers, this is what you do. I've been to Thailand, and there was this other shop where me and my friends were sitting, and then there was not a lot of people who came into the store. Lo mama lo washisa something abo lesiteche esincane sakaBhuda. Washisa something whatever leso stage sakaBhuda wathandaza. Ngiyakutshela, like 10 minutes later, shop igcwele, shop is popping. And I was like, you see what I mean? It's those little things that you do. Watshela ukuthi ayibo, why manje sekuthulile? Vukani phela nibiza abantu. Zikhona izinto ezithengwayo njengoba naye kwazi ukushisa something ngokukhuluma noBhuda. Zikhona izinto ongazishisa nawe for your business to strive. Zikhona izinto ongazishisa nawe for ukuthi emsebenzini makwenziwa so ungakhohlwa bangakushiye emuva, makuthiwa ama promotion bangakushiye emuva, makuthiwa kunesikhundla esisha bangakushiye emuva. When you want a new job, ube like ungafuni umsebenzi omusha for the longest time. No, for that short period of time. Zikhona izinto. And for people, like there's people emakibo bahlala like their spirituality is in line. There are people who make sure ukuthi amadlozi wabo are happy. There are people who make sure ukuthi like idlozi alishodwa makushonwa siyagezwa, umuntu makashonile siyamlanda, you know, umntwana makayenza 21 simenzela umemulo. If you go to those families, you will hardly find those people struggling. Abantu bakhona kumnandi, abantwana bakhona bathola umsebenzi, like bese ufika kama family lawa azokutshela ukuthi mama ushonile asigezanga. Kushekwa kunzima bakhona nokuthola umsebenzi, kunzima nokuthi babe nemali yokudla. So yes, we can use our spirituality to strive. It's just that Tina, we neglect it so much that it neglects us, because amadlozi anjalo mawuchifa nabo bayachifa, mabona ukuthi abanaki nabo ngeke bakunaki.
Wow. Okay, that's super interesting. So now coming back to you, ne? So are you gonna, okay, first of all, are you gonna continue being a healer, or are you gonna go back to like being a professional? And what does this new chapter mean for your life?
I would very much like to do both, because like I said, before there were amadlozi, there was Nomsa, and Nomsa, you know, she wanted to be a corporate person. She wanted to be a person that goes to work every day. But it looks like I'm given the opportunity that I've never had, actually, because Gunzima, I won't lie to you, Gunzima to juggle both. Any healer will tell you to juggle a 9 to 5 and then come back, all this stuff. And then also because 9 to 5, you can't even connect because or there's this deadline that's stressing you out and you cannot even connect, because amadlozi don't sit in a place like or you're overstressed. Like they don't. It's going to be hard for you to even help people. I would like to do both, even though I feel like my ancestors do not want me to do both. They want me to focus on healing. They're like, okay, you've had 10 years to be a corporate person. Now it's time to give us some time. And they do that. Wafunda wagraduate lathola khona umsebenzi aqala zamhlupha lezi zinto lezi, and then waziyenza wathwasa wafocusa, and then she healed people for I think 3 years, and then after 3 years bafike ephupheni bathi okay siyabonga gogo, so sisebenzele thina, so ungavala indumba manje uhambe uyo back to your normal life, back to your corporate world. And manje uyasebenza sebenza in a corporate, great job, great position, uyahola uyabuya apart, you know, like they just given her life back. But unfortunately, yabo asifani singabantu, amanye amadlozi afuna ukuthi ube help people forever. Some like abanye abantu like makathwasile makaceda nje ukuthwasa kumele ahamba buyele emsebenzini, and makaceda lapho yonke into yakhe ibe kahle, like yonke into yakhe ibe aligned. Thola ukuthi omunye beyangathola ukuthola abantwana, makaceda nje ukuthwasa athola abantwana, like see, like those likubizela izinto is different. Sometimes it's just for them to heal. It's not like mauzo twasa you're gonna be a healer. Sometimes just generational healing. Sometimes konumuntu oyenze something azanka ibuyisele endlini, you know, like maybe azanka yenza umsebenzi onkomo, or azanka yenze something yena ngalesikhathi athwasa azanka qedi. Ufuna nje wena ukuthi uyomqedelelele. Umqedelelele akuvulele yonke into ungaphindi usebenza umuntu. So it's a different story, it's a different path for everyone. But for me, I'd like to do both because, you know, number one, money. But also I don't want to lose Nomsa in the whole process. I want to remember, okay, I'm human. I want to know, okay, I don't know, like I'm smart, like I can do things besides Kushama Tambo. I can come up with strategies, you know, I can do publicity, you know, like I want to be in an office environment, meet new people. Yes, you meet a lot of new people there, but it's different from work because those people aren't going to be your friends, you know. Have friends outside, like, you know, go out on a Friday for sundowners with friends. I'd really like to maintain.
No, like basically you still want to have the agency life, you know. Yo, can you hear me? Nomsa, I lost you, man. I lost you. And I had one more question for you. I don't know if you can hear me, but I had last question. Maybe I wasn't supposed to ask that question. Possible. Oh man, this was so dope. Thank you so much for your time, Nomsa. I'm gonna stop the recording now and see if I can still connect to you. If not, then it's fine. We'll call it. We'll just call it quits. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, man, look out for more content about African spirituality. Thank you.